Yeah, yeah, yeah. Narnos. Yeah, yeah. He manifested this, I swear he did. Narnos, bring the story to the visual. Global, kick it with the athletes, good promo. Dope show, listen while you working. Speaking with a purpose. Subscribe now, don't keep scrolling. Catch him on the web like Toby. Narnos, inspire weed like Kobe. Narnos, Mamba mentality potent. From the streets of Detroit to TV, Narnos. Yeah, yeah, Narnos. Yeah, yeah.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Nar Knows, man. The second time's the charm. I got my guy Gabe Jeudy-Lally, man. And if y'all seen the first episode, he was at BYU rocking that light blue, but now he's a Tennessee Volunteer, man. How you doing, dude? Getting ready for the draft?
I'm doing good. These days are long right now, but there's light at the end of the tunnel because we're all going to reach that big goal in April. So, I'm doing good nonetheless. Though.
Well, the first time we met, you were preparing to play for the Cougars. And, even though we did touch base on Instagram Live, man, just to kind of close that chapter a little bit, it'd be the only question I asked about the Cougars. But, from your time there, what do you make of it, man? Like, what was it like?
Honestly, like it was a great time playing football there, especially coming from an environment where I hadn't won many games. So it was cool to be able to play with those guys. Nice winning tradition and culture, and be able to reach a bowl game at the end of that 2022 season. So I was happy with my time there, and a lot of my friends had moved on that year too. So it was just good. It was a good culmination of time, and seeing a lot of guys that I played with have success in the NFL this year too, which has been really cool.
Well, your background 2020 to 2022, you were in Vanderbilt. Like I said, 2022 to 23, you had one season with the Cougars, and then you made another business decision to go play for the Tennessee Volunteers in the height of all their hype. And then on top of that, even though you went to three different schools, you got 2 degrees. So congratulations on that, man,
Thank you.
because I know what it's like to get 1 degree. So you got two while also juggling a potential NFL career, man, ahead of you. Recently, you've played in the Hula Bowl. What was that like?
It was really good. The NFLPA Bowl was had shut down this past year, so a lot of the talent that flooded in from there. Um, and it was just a couple weeks before the other bowl games, so we had a lot of good guys. A lot of guys have been called up to the other bowl games. It was good. A hectic scene sometimes after practicing and getting called in by NFL personnel at the end of the day. So the days were long and hard, but I think that it really helped me see what the process is going to look like. A little bit of an outline for me and those in my corner to see where things may fall. So it was good nonetheless.
I know you're on the grind because you got the beard, you got the scruff, you got the hidden afro. I already know what that afro look like. That's why you got it covered up. I already know. What are some of the things that you're focusing on right now in your process?
Yeah, so I've decided to pick one of the best places around to be able to train for the process. So I'm at Exos, training with a lot of guys that are projected to go first and second round. So I wanted to surround myself with the best competition possible to put myself in the best place to be able to succeed at the end of the day. The biggest thing I'm working on is going to run a fast 40. I think running a fast 40 will open up all the doors and all the success that I want to see um, through this journey. And that's my biggest thing. And at the end of the day, just competing with the guys around me and building lifelong friendships and relationships with these people that are here too. Because we all come from different backgrounds, we all come from different schools and such, but we all have a common goal at the end of the day is to make it in the league. It's not like you're competing against somebody on the football field anymore. You're competing against yourself because your film is your resume. You can't change it anymore. Now it's just what you do with the opportunities that you're given. And so all of us here, we really, are bonded through the struggle right now,
Mhm.
getting ready to see what these next couple of months look for us.
So speaking of closing a chapter at Tennessee, what was that spring game like? I watched that spring game. It was a hype atmosphere, packed. What was it like for you putting on that uniform, just for the spring game?
Yeah, it was great, especially being on the right side of things because, of course, I played in Neyland a couple of times before being from Vanderbilt. So coming in and being on, the home sideline and having the fans all around you, even with it only being half capacity, still 50,000 plus people there, which is a pretty wild to think about for your first time putting on the power tee. It was good though. Dislocated my finger in the game, which wasn't the greatest, but uh, it was a good experience because I knew that coming up in the season it was going to be even better, even more rocking. So just a little bit of a preview was nice for me and for my family.
Man, in season, and it's some of the things that I noticed. You had a forced fumble against UConn. You had a sack against Alabama, interception. No, you had a sack against Alabama and an interception against Texas A&M. If I'm a scout, that tells me that I can trust Gabe in any position. If I need him to do different things, he can do it. Is that something that you're preparing to answer those types of questions when it comes to the NFL draft process, getting in front of those GMs and coaches?
Yeah, of course. My size is a really big benefit to me. So a lot of guys sometimes label me as a tweener, a guy that could play corner, a guy that could play safety. I think that definitely I played the majority of my career at corner, and I think that's where I want to play when I go in the NFL. But I want to be able to, open the door for every opportunity for me to be able to get on the field whenever I get to the NFL. So I think that the plays and the opportunities that arose, I made them, and I think that it's going to show whoever I'm talking to. The resume is there, and you just have to watch it. And I think the interviews now is to get to really put a name to the face and see, the guy that is making those plays on the field. Are they able to talk about what happened? Are they able to walk me through the steps, a third and down and five call, whatever the case it is, to see if you really love football and what type of competitor you are at the end of the day.
I asked you this question before, but I'm gonna ask you again because you took another step forward when once you left BYU. But now that you're preparing for the NFL draft, how much more have you elevated mentally, emotionally, spiritually after leaving the Cougars and finishing it out as a volunteer?
Yeah, I definitely think that this past year definitely elevated just taking my process and being a pro. I used to watch film, but not the way that I did this past year, which I felt really prepared me to see what was going to happen in the game. So instead of me needing to react, I was already knowing what was going to happen. So I was just two steps ahead of what was going on. And even though I battled a couple of injuries this year, having that pro like mindset set me up. Though I was maybe hindered in some aspects, I was still able to know what was about to happen to put myself in a better position because I might have not been 100% that day. I think overall definitely was one of my best seasons as a complete player.
Being from Texas, would you rather get drafted by the Texans or the Cowboys? I,
Man,
obviously, it's a rhetorical question, but you can answer however you like.
yeah, I mean, I want to be drafted regardless, right? That's the goal. But
Mhm.
I don't really know. I know my best friend, he is like the biggest Texans fan. So I think that would I don't even know how he'd react. He'd probably lose his marbles if I got drafted to the Texans. So that would be cool. A little bit closer to Austin, Texas. But at the end of the day, whoever needs me to be a piece of their team, I'm cool with it. And I think the Texans got some young guys that are making some noise there. So if the Cowboys need me to come help, I'll sign up for that one too.
Hey, they look like they could use a little bit of help for sure, man. For you, what kind of person is NFL team getting?
Yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, it's a question that a lot of scouts ask in your interview process. And I mean, the point blank honest thing is you're getting a competitor on the field, off the field, and in the community. I think that I'm going to give you my best when it comes on the field, regardless of my role, because you don't get to pick what your role is going to be. You get placed into one in the NFL, right? You get picked, either get put on the 53-man roster based off how you play, and you either get a starting spot or you're a special teams guy. So whatever place I'm going to be, I'm going to compete. And I think from there, my opportunities will arise by based off how I compete. I mean, I'm going to compete off the field just in my own right, making sure that my body's right and making sure that those around me know that I'm there if they need me. And in the community, I want to be able to make a change wherever I'm at because then I now have the resources to do so. And I have a brand with the team and a brand building myself to be able to do those things. And at the end of the day, you're going to get a guy that is really I think, trustworthy in what he's going to do on the field. There's not many times where uh, I'm out there not knowing what I'm doing. I definitely am knowing what I'm doing. If I don't make the play, that's definitely on me at the end of the day. And I think that mixed with the competition aspect, that's a guy that you can count on for 17 to 20 game season because the games are a lot longer, the seasons are a lot longer, the weeks are a lot longer. So you got to be able to have guys accountable to be able to get it done. And I'm gonna be a good locker room guy. With it being so long, you need a guy that's be able to mesh with everybody there. I've been three places that shows that I can fit in wherever I'm going to go. I'm going to learn the defense. I'm going to learn the scheme. I'm going to learn the city wherever I go at. So I think the culmination of those three is going to be really good.
Okay, that was a pretty dang on good answer. I'll draft you. Uh, oh, so with that being said, what areas of your game are already translatable to today's NFL?
That's a good question. I definitely think that my vision defense is definitely translatable to the NFL. You got to have a change up. The rules are a little bit different finding out at the Hula Bowl, right? You can't put your hands on after 5 yards. There's a lot of different things that the wide receivers can't do, the DBs can't do. So being able to play with my vision defense just helps me not even get those ticky tack fouls at the end of the day, penalties to help hurt the team. And if I got my eyes in the right spot, there's many plays I can't make. Um, and then I also do think that my overall size, my comparison is like I'm long, I've measured in, I'm tall, got long features and such. So I think I can bump and run with anybody. It's just now an aspect of what defensive scheme did I get put in to be able to do so. But I definitely do think that there are many things I need to improve on because I'm going against the best of the best each week. But I think that those things give me a leg up at that point in time when I first get in the league. And from there, I just got to continue to get my game better each week.
One thing you definitely got to get used to, especially during this draft process, is NFL comps. And weirdly enough, I could not think of a proper NFL comp for you, man. Like when I watch your game, it's almost like a sharpshooter. You know what I'm saying? You don't see him, but you know he there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of a NFL comp, but if you can come up with one, who would you say your game is close to?
See, I think you kind of hit it on the head. Anytime a lot of people ask me this, like I couldn't tell you what one person uh I'm like at the end of the day. Um I'm just tall, long, and I use my smarts to my ability, right? Like I think Stephon Gilmore understands like where he's at in his point is in his career, right? Might not be as athletically gifted as everybody else now, but he's way smarter and he's been there for a long time. So I think I take that mentality from him. I think that there's a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, just like Jair Alexander talks about too, being able to make those unorthodox plays, make those plays on the ball. And I've talked about a little bit too. Denzel Ward, he makes a lot of plays on the field that you're like, did he just slide and do
Mm,
that, or did he just do one of those types of things? I think that I'm a mix. Like I'm the type of player that you want because I can fit in a lot of different areas. And I think that's good because I don't want to be somebody else, right? Somebody's like, oh, he's this player. You're getting another one of those. I want to be somebody else's player comp later on in life, not be one now. So
mm.
mold my game from whatever I'm gonna do in the league, and then see where we rock from there.
Hey, and I mean, that's inevitable. You're definitely going to get your opportunities, and those opportunities are going to come against guys that are in the playoffs right now. You know, what are some wide receivers that you like? I can't wait to see how I measure up to this dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course. I mean, I love Puka. Puka plays really good football, right? At the end of the day, and I got to practice against him a little bit, but never got to go in that true competitive aspect against him. When the game's on the line. So definitely would like to go against Puka. I really want to see how we fare up when it's between the white lines. Some guy that's playing really really well is Amon St. Brown right now.
Mhm.
You know, really like his tenacity. Uh, he's got a chip on his shoulder for sure. He knows every single wide receiver drafted in front of him. That's a guy that I can tell really like the game is embedded in his DNA, especially with the long lineage of people that he's had play the game. I also do think that, if I move back into the back end, there's some good tight ends as well that I would like to play in the league too. But I think those two guys for sure, just seeing how the NFL is going right now, those are two guys that are really taking, you know, the lead and being the best wide receivers at this moment in time. And Puka, just as a rookie, and Amon is, I want to say maybe third year too, is just really dominant. So I'd like to see how I compare against them.
I definitely got to touch on it, man. Like, did you see this coming? Puka putting up crazy numbers, man. Like, did you see this in practice? Like, I mean, he's a D1 athlete for a reason, but I can honestly say no one saw this coming.
The thing is, like, I don't know why no one, like, hey, maybe no one that was not at BYU or not at Washington or not from Provo didn't see it happening. But like, I was there for 7 months, and though we protected Puka because he dealt with some injuries when I was there. When the dude didn't have to practice all week, like the definition of flipping a switch, like how all coaches like, I don't believe in that flipping the switch stuff. I don't believe. No. Puka Nakua is the embodiment of his game time. Like, don't talk to me. I'm in my mode. I'm in my zone. Like, I got guys that I'm training with right now. One guy from Arkansas that I'm training with, and he was like, "Man, when we played them at your place 2 years ago," he was like, we couldn't figure out a person to guard him. I was like, I'm telling you, my first play as a BYU Cougar, it was Puka 75 yards around the end of USF. And I was like, hey, mama, there goes that man. Like, I was like, that is crazy. That is crazy. But I knew it was coming. I I personally think that he could have gone in earlier than the fifth, but everybody has their proper timing. And I think that he fell to the right situation, and seeing all this stuff come out about Sean McVay saying, like, I need a guy that does this, this, and this. I don't care about the testing numbers. I want more coaches to be like that, because
Hmm.
some guys don't need to run. Like, I mean, yeah, it's cool to run 4-3, 4-2, cool. But there's some guys that are just damn good football players. And at the end of the day, Puka's a damn good football player. And those are the guys that last a long time.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Man, that's a pretty dynamic perspective right there, man, for sure. That'd be pretty dope if y'all end up on the Rams together. Um, but moving forward, man, like Tennessee, had high expectations and, kind of didn't make it to the top four teams. Only four teams go to the, national championship or get that shot. But just your bowl game experience, you guys were lights out on defense. What that game in itself, was like the final page of the chapter for you, man, in college. What do you take from that experience and dominating in that game?
Yeah, I mean, first off, to speak about our Tennessee football team, man, like, it's crazy to think how little the margin for error is in football. Prior to the Georgia game, and honestly, even if you count the Georgia, like prior to the Georgia game, we played 4 bad quarters of football. 4 bad quarters of football resulted in 3 losses. A
Hmm.
second quarter in Florida, a third quarter versus Alabama, and a half versus Missouri.
Hmm.
Those resulted in some losses that, at the end of the day, were very self-inflicted. I think that Georgia, we were playing well. We just, had bad eyes. Just had some things that didn't fall our way, and a really good football team like Georgia is going to capitalize that and make it look ugly at the end of the day. So I think that you take away those quarters, and I mean, a one-loss Tennessee team, you can't keep us out of the college football playoff. And I think we really could have gave. I mean, this is my personal opinion. I think Michigan is a darn good football team, but I think we could have given them a run for their money. I mean, they played Iowa. They beat them 33-0. We beat them 35-0. Same exact Iowa football team.
Hmm.
I mean, so I think that we're just as good as anybody else. It's just, are we prepared to show up for all 4 quarters? That's what it is. Or we're prepared to do our job. We're always going to show up. That's one thing. We're always going to battle to the end, but we're prepared to do our job at a really high level for 4 quarters, because the team that does that's usually going to win the football game. But to that aspect, I think that that's just kind of what happened in the last game. We understood that we had a freshman quarterback. But honestly, I don't care that he's a freshman. We all don't care he's a freshman because I'd be highly surprised if he's not in the Heisman conversation midway through the season next year. And if he gets it done, I think he could really win it all because that dude is like so cool, so calm and collected for being as young as he is. And he didn't even throw the ball as well as we know he can throw the ball that game, and he ran for 3 touchdowns. So, like, just imagine when he starts to open that thing up. And we played the number 2 overall defense in the country. I mean, I think that we were number 2 that day because we showed them that, like, if you put a good offense and a good defense together, a good Tennessee team is going to win every single time. It was just really good, though, especially at the end of the game. I got to see my young guys play. And Coach Martinez has gotten a headset with me and just, like, told me how proud he was that I came to Tennessee and the things that I did that season. And, not one to cry, but, I was just, got the – you choked up a little bit. I was like, man, it's dusty in here, right, man?
I'm cutting onions around here.
Yeah. And we played on New Year's Day. Don't the New Year's Six Bowl. I don't think many people on their career can say that they played on New Year's Day. And that was just awesome for me to go from not winning a lot of games to playing in a bowl game and then playing in one of the bigger ones. It was just really great for me to see my family be so happy. I had a lot of people there, and to see them cry, knowing that it was the last time I was come across, and seeing Coach Hype at the end, he just hugged me. He's like, "Thank you" as well, and everybody's telling me thank you, and I just wanted to just show my gratitude to the University of Tennessee and those people that are there because they made my experience a hell of a good one, and I know I'll be talking about this one until I got gray all over my face at the end of the day.
Man, fair enough, bro. Well said, man. So who you got for Super Bowl, man? Who's your Super Bowl prediction?
Okay, if I wanted what I wanted, I'd want the Ravens versus the Lions. But I think what we're gonna get is the 49ers versus the Chiefs. Just because, like, if Patrick Mahomes wins at the Bills, I think it's over with. I think they're winning it because he's never had a road playoff game. So if he does that, it's like, oh, he answered all the questions, right? And then it's over with. But if the Lions and Jared Goff, plays really, really well at a really high level, they'll be all right. Because, they got a little bit of defensive woes right now. But if he plays at a really high level, I think they're a really hard team to stop. And I think that San Francisco 49ers, they're just like that one football team that you see every year that's like, dang, they're really good. Like, what are we going to do this year to beat them? But if you catch them on the good night, you're going to beat them too. So, but I want the Lions versus the Ravens, but I think we're going to get the 49ers versus the Chiefs.
Okay, I'll tell you right now, speaking as a true Lions fan, born and raised in the darkness, we could use some corners. And Cam Sutton, I mean, he's been playing because he's been consistent all season, and just like cornerbacks one of the hardest positions. So he's gonna give up some every now and again. That one against Puka was not cute. It wasn't cute. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just
But
saying,
I ain't expecting double move on 3rd and 1 on my own 30. I'm gonna be honest with you. When he ran double move, I was like, yeah, anybody else see that? I was like, ain't no way.
but from what I saw, Cam was looking in the backfield. He was looking in the backfield a little bit.
My coach always said your eyes will lie to you, so you got to keep them right.
Man, I heard keep your eye on your money, and your money's right in front of you. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
That's how I was taught. I was taught keep your eye on your money, because if something else happened in the backfield, it's probably somebody else's responsibility as a corner. Uh,
exactly.
but hey, all I'm saying is if you end up on the Lions, just know, bro, I'm gonna need a signed jersey, bro. I'm gonna need one, bro.
Got it. I'm getting some Lions love right now, so we'll see, man.
Okay, don't tell me that, bro. Don't tell me that. Do not tell me that. You see the helmet over there, bro. Do not
I
tell me
do see
that.
it. Yeah.
Hey, that's what because we need it, and they know we need it too. So, Dan Campbell, man, that would be a pretty dope situation for you, bro. Plug and play player that I know you are. That'd be easy work. So, a couple more questions for you, bro, because I want to say I always appreciate you so much for your time, taking the time out, man. Um, Now that you've closed the chapter on college football and you kind of already alluded to it, but who has been a part of your life for those who may not know or have seen the previous interview, who has been keeping you grounded throughout this journey?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest two people are definitely my mom and my stepdad. Uh, they just make sure that I have support with whatever decision that I make at the end of the day, especially as I've grown up, that they've maybe talked less about how they feel about the situation because they do trust in my instincts at the end of the day. But those are two people that have helped me get to this point.
Word up, bro. Well, I mean, anything I left out, anything you want to touch on before we conclude this interview, man?
Uh, Honestly, no, there's not much I want to touch on, but I mean, as much love as I can get in this process, because I'm also the NFL is the big goal and the dream, so I got to put my head down and get that done. But as much media as exposure as I can get in this situation too, because now I don't have a college behind me. I got to build my own brand and create that person. And one person once told me, like, you got to use this moment in your time to be able to become the person that you want to be off the field as well too. So building that brand I want to do too. So as much help as I can get, I'll take it, and I'll take anybody's support.
Well, hey man, I've been supporting you since yay high, man. But no, it's all love this way, man. And I appreciate you supporting my brand, man, and sharing your stage, your audience with me, man. And I'm happy to see where you are right now. And I know the sky's the limit, bro, because I've seen how far you've come so far. So keep doing what you're doing, man. We're gonna stay locked in. I'll definitely keep my eyes on you. Fingers crossed for the Detroit Lions, man. If you end up in Detroit, you already know. Holla at me, bro. I'm gonna let you know where to go and where not to go. I'm gonna let you know that. But other than that, yeah, man, stay blessed, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're on a positive path. God got you, bro.
I appreciate that, and you stay safe and keep doing it, and you're already growing, and I know the sky's the limit for you as well.
Yeah, no, I know.